Good morning to all of you. It is 8:45 here in New York City. I got off the air for CBS this morning about 45 minutes ago and thought, hey, why not do an Instagram Live? Paddington, do not put that in your mouth. No. Poor Paddington. Poor Paddington's going a little stir crazy. So we try to throw the toy as much as we can. But anyway, now that I'm off the air, I thought, listen, I got plenty of time. And if we can use this time to hear from all of you and give you an opportunity to engage and tell your story about your new normal, about concerns and or fears that you may have, give me the toy, I'll throw it. I thought we could do that. So if you will just bear with me, and I might have to look away from time to time to throw Paddington's toy. But otherwise, I'd like to bring some of you in and continue. If you're new to this, we've been doing this for, I think, the last 2 days at this point. I think I did 4 hours yesterday. I did 2 or 3 hours the day before. And so anyway, I had the time and I thought, let's do it. Sheila, you're first.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Sheila. Where are you?
I'm in Luquillo, Puerto Rico.
Luquillo. Okay, so tell me, is it a beautiful morning?
It's beautiful here. We came actually to visit my parents on the 12th from Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
And everything exploded after that, you know. So we've been in, this is Stella. Say hi. Hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
She doesn't have class anymore till April 15th in Florida. So it's been very interesting. We were able to go to the beach one day, like the first day we came here. And then after that, we had all the situation happen here. So we're staying with family. We're supposed to go back on the 24th, but we don't know if that's going to happen.
Do you feel better since you're already there?
Yeah.
Do you feel better staying there?
I was talking to my husband because we thought about he's a merchant marine. So he works on a boat. He brings stuff in and out to different parts of the U.S. And we were talking about it, and we were like, should we go? Should we stay? And we decided that here in Puerto Rico, they are taking more, better measurements right now than in the States. In the States.
Let's just pause for a moment.
Yeah.
And let's give credit, because Puerto Rico gets a lot of hell, a lot of backlash, a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
But let's reflect on what you just said. What did you just say about Puerto Rico in comparison to the States?
That they are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. Like in the States, I see that people are still out. Here in Puerto Rico, you're in a lockdown basically. Like yesterday was the first time I went out of a house of my in-laws' home to come to my parents' house since Sunday. Nothing out. Like we didn't do anything out there. So I feel like they're taking better measurements here in the island than in the States. So I feel safer here. Believe it or not, I feel safer here in Puerto Rico than going back to the States.
I mean, I understand it. Not everybody likes it, and I understand not liking it.
Absolutely.
But I hope everybody understands that because it's a little island in the middle of the Caribbean, because you can't get places, you can't come from California or New York and rush in with resources. They've got to protect the infrastructure that they can. And that's why the government, and the governor particularly, has acted so heavy-handed to essentially lock the place down. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions regarding being around your parents. How old are your parents?
My parents are in the 70s. My dad has heart condition. He's diabetic, so he's on the high risk end of the spectrum. So he's been in his room. We say hi here and there, but that's about it. Their next door neighbor actually just screamed through the window and say, hey, we're going out. Do you guys need anything? Whatever you guys need, we're going to Costco. Let me know what you need. So it's a nice community where they're helping each other right now.
So, but Puerto Ricans do that. The only people I've seen do it better than Puerto Ricans are the Cajuns from Louisiana, where I'm from. But what makes us similar to Puerto Ricans is that if we have food we cook, we want to feed you. If we have a bed to sleep in, we want to invite you to sleep in it. So we like to share.
Yeah.
When you go in the house, are you staying 5 to 6 feet away from your parents?
To be honest, I forget. You know how we are. We like to hug, we like to kiss. That we're not doing. We are not doing. It's very, very hard right now to do it because we're like that. I haven't seen my parents for almost a year. I haven't been in Puerto Rico since before Maria. Last time we were here was July, right before Maria.
Oh, wow.
So we've been planning for this trip for a whole bunch, like for a while now.
Oh,
And
wow.
planning to be here, you're like, we cannot do anything. All the plans are like, my birthday is tomorrow. Had lots of plans, everything gone. My baby's birthday, we're having a huge party on Saturday. That's been canceled, of course. But, you know, it's fine. Everything is healthy. Everyone is healthy. So that's important right now.
So Sheila, just be mindful of the recommendations. Because you are going out and because you're coming back in, there is a chance that you could asymptomatically, not feeling sick, be carrying the virus and pass it on to your parents, which would be bad news given their age and their underlying health conditions.
Say hi to David. Look.
Oh, hi.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very well. We've been doing these Instagram lives in order to talk to people about their new normal. So tell me about your new normal right now.
What are you doing right now? Just she's been really
and tell her,
good.
listen, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish. So tell her if she wants to speak in Spanish, if she feels more comfortable, please go ahead.
No, I can say, well, right now we're, you know, doing the things we have to do, washing our hands all the time if we go out and all the things. We even use
the mask.
mask. Every time I go out, I put it on and, you know, trying to do things right, you know, to avoid certain things.
And just remember, Mom, I didn't get your name, but just remember that Miss Norma. So just remember that given your age, you are in a higher risk category. And so when you allow people to come near you within less than 6 feet, someone could infect you and not even know they have it. So now is the best time to practice that social distancing. We can wave, we can yell, we can talk, but don't come near me. Yeah.
And that's the problem Puerto Ricans have. We hug a lot, and that's a big problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
How nice is it to have your daughter home?
Oh, it's a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And my
Well,
daughters, everything. It's a blessing, really.
yeah. Well, it's really nice to meet you, Miss Norma.
It's nice to meet you too.
You too. And listen, thank you for weighing in and kind of just letting us know about your new normal. I'm glad you guys are there. And for your sake, I hope you have to stay a little longer. It won't be the worst thing in the world if you have to stay.
I know. I'm the only thing that I'm worried to go back is the whole homeschooling thing and from home. I'm like,
Right.
oh gosh, how am I gonna do that? But I mean, it's another, you know, adapt and overcome. That's my new motto: adapt and overcome.
Yeah, we deal with the day when it comes. We just deal with it. Like, okay, you know, that's all we can do. That's all we can do is just roll with it.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, it's been a joy talking to you. So, thank you. Enjoy the time you have there. Make the best of it. I know you will.
Yes. Thank you so much you're awesome. God bless you. Okay.
Thank you, love. God bless you. Bye, Sheila.
Bye.
Okay, what do you want? You want a toy? Okay, here we go. Toy. Boom. Before I bring in the next person, I just want to respond to a comment that I saw. I just threw the toy. Get the toy. I just want to respond to a comment that I saw a short time ago. Someone said private labs on the island are not yet testing. So I just want to let you know, I spoke to one lab in particular, Toledo Lab, which is in Arecibo, and they are right now collecting samples, and they have been sending it off to the states to be tested, but they are in the process of obtaining everything they need to actually do testing and get results on the island, which would make things dramatically better. There is a shortage of tests, right? And so when the government, when I tell you that the government of Puerto Rico, when the government of Puerto Rico has done less than 50 tests, it's not like they're intentionally trying to do fewer tests. This is the same problem that is happening all over the United States. The governor of Oklahoma said yesterday, they can't even get the swabs to do the tests. So every state is going through the same thing that Puerto Rico is going through in terms of not having enough testing. Now, Puerto Rico has an additional issue in that the Secretary of Health, the acting Secretary of Health, who just took over this week, says she doesn't have enough machines and people to get it done. So look, again, the bottom line, Toledo Lab, Arecibo, just one example. They expect this week to be able to start testing and getting results in their lab. And the head of the lab told me yesterday that there's a world in which in a day period they could do 100 tests or more. That would be incredible. So I just wanted to give you the context. Like, it is in the process. Labs are working, but let me tell you how much help the government of Puerto Rico needs. According to the lady who runs the Toledo lab, the governor called her because the governor was interested in getting the labs, up and going. And she said one thing the governor also said they needed help with was just collecting samples on the island, just getting the samples, like a courier service. And we would think that, well, government can at least do that. You can go pick up samples, right? They need help with that too. So that's just the world that we're living in. So let us see Paddington. Okay, you want to see Paddington? They want to see you. They want to see you because you're misbehaving. You're misbehaving. They want to see you. Yes. Say good morning. Say good morning. Uh-huh. Okay. Here. Whew. Oh, it's on my couch. There we go. Okay. Down. Don't get on that couch, boy. Okay, here we go. Amber. Come on, Amber.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. My best friend's gonna be so jealous.
Good morning to you. Who's that sweet little nugget in your arms?
This is my son, Nicholas.
Nicholas. So tell everybody your name and where you're from.
I am originally from Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, but I currently live in Gurabo.
Gurabo, okay.
Yes.
And your first name?
My first name is Amber.
Amber, okay. So Amber, tell me about your new normal.
Well, my new normal is having my husband work from home, actually being able to sit down with him to have breakfast.
That's kind of nice, right?
Yes, that's kind of nice. And having this little nugget around, taking care of him. And I just want to tell to the people of Puerto Rico that they should just have faith. They should just believe and do not let this, they need to let this be a lesson for everybody, because people often take things from granted.
Yeah.
And this is a time for family. You
Yes.
can be with your family if you can, because the little things in life often just, people let them pass by. People think living life is having to work, and having to work is part of life. It should not be your life. And just want to say to the people of actually Walmart of Caguas, people are dying to have groceries, but Walmart has the employees are being very conscious with hygiene. Yesterday I had to go. It's not like I wanted to leave my house. I had to go to pick up some groceries, and the employees were cleaning every single cart before they hand it to you. You cannot enter the grocery store with a cart from outside. It had to be from inside. That the employee had to give it to you, and you had to be alone. You couldn't enter the store if you were with another person.
This is awesome to hear. I love all these measures they're taking. That's great.
Yes. And when you were actually, you had to make a line outside of the store. You couldn't be like all in a group. You had to have space.
Staggered. Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 feet. They had little marks from where you can stand to make the line, so you can enter the store. And you had only one. You know that Walmart has 2 entrances. Well, they have 1 entrance and 1 exit. And as people are exiting, they let people in. If people are not exiting, they don't let people in. And
hats off to Walmart. It's Walmart in Caguas?
In Caguas, yeah.
Hats off to the Walmart in Caguas.
It's Walmart in Caguas. And they are urging people to like try to hurry up with their what they're buying, so that other people can get in.
And how are they doing with the essentials like toilet paper and water?
They have toilet paper, They had dish soap. They had
Great.
medicine, cough syrup. They had
What
it.
about sanitizer and
They
stuff?
didn't have sanitizer, but they had soap.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Good.
They had soap.
If I was at your house, I would ask you to hold that little nugget. He is so cute.
Thank you.
He is so cute.
David, I also wanted to say to you, if you can verify this,
Okay.
the airport in Aguadilla.
Yes.
I think they're not having the measures taken for temperature and everything they need to do.
They haven't. I will tell you that right now. They are in the
Okay.
process of expanding. So here's the thing. The Luis Munoz Marin Airport in San Juan is using up to 600 National Guard personnel to do the testing, right? That's a lot. So what they're trying to do is they're planning to expand that to Aguadilla, Ponce, the private airport in Isla Verde. So they expect and hope to have that going by next week. But as of right now, the only airport on the island that has that is San Juan.
Okay.
Okay, so it's coming. It's coming, I'm told. But they just, they're using medical students from the university to help with the testing. You've got, and I posted some of those pictures on my social media accounts that show you the scene inside of the airport. And the governor, you may have heard or seen in my reporting, the governor is asking the FAA to shut down the San Juan airport. I don't know that that's going to happen because the feds would have to do it. She doesn't have the legal authority to do it. But she has asked them to close it. And the FAA has acknowledged they've received her response, and we'll see what they say.
Okay, great. Can I take a screenshot so I can show my best friend that I was talking to you?
Of course, of course.
Oh my God, I just took it. Thank you so much, David. Everything you do for Puerto Rico, we love you so much. You're like an adopted Boricua here. We love you a ton. You have no idea how much it means to us that we have a voice like you out there in the world so the people of the world can know Puerto Rico.
Thank you. You are so welcome.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, love. Bye-bye. I'm glad to hear that stuff about the Walmart in Caguas. That's really good that they're taking all those measures. No, flights to Aguadilla are still happening. It's still open. They just don't have the National Guard taking temperatures.
Oh my God. That's me, David. How you doing?
Hi, who's this?
Miguel Mosley from Portland, Oregon.
Oh, Miguel from Portland, you're back. Do you have anything new?
Yes, we send, I've been getting all the information from the leaders. I have it here. Give me a second. First, give me a second here. We get all this information to help people around the city. Okay, they send a list. 7-Eleven is jumping up to help lunch for kids, free. They're giving lunch, 7-Eleven, and all Portland area, all the cities around the metro area.
Point the phone up. I can't see you, Miguel.
Okay, better.
Okay, better, yes.
Okay. We get the PDS information. This been sent to all the leaders around the county. First, 7-Eleven decide to give a free lunch for all the children.
Okay.
We had the church. Give me a second, my other phone. We have this Portland school districts are open only for to help for food, to give it lunch and breakfast to all the children. All locations, only for food.
Okay. So everybody, Miguel's telling us about the situation to help people who are homeless in Portland, Oregon, which is where he lives.
Yeah. So for everybody who need help, for everybody. We had discount of food restaurants giving food to all the food that no can sell. They will give it back to the people. We have Nicola restaurant who's from 11 to 9 p.m. All the restaurant will be open to give it food to the people who need it.
Good. All right, so this is a good update. Just keep me posted, and I know you're a photographer, so if you go out and you take any pictures, send them to me, and I'll be happy to share them.
I will. So have a
Okay.
good day.
Okay, Miguel, you
My
too.
husband
Bye.
said hello.
Who?
My husband.
Your husband. Tell your husband. Hi, husband.
he's
Okay, bye,
he's from
Miguel.
Germany. Okay. So
Okay, so let's see. Oh, it's raining here in New York a little bit. A little drizzle here in New York City.
Hi!
Well, hello. What's your name?
Sorry, I'm Melanie. Sorry, I have black mascara. I was not thinking
That's
you were
okay.
gonna answer me. Hold
That's
on a
okay.
second. I am from Brooklyn, New York, Williamsburg.
Okay. Okay.
Right now, I'm currently getting ready to go to work.
Okay. Where do you work?
So I work for this company called Fesco, distributor. My owners own, you know, the brand Kobe headphones.
Yeah.
Headphones, Adam, ChargeWorks. So I work for that company. And unfortunately, we are still open, and I'm not too happy about that, to be honest, because I am a single mother and I have my daughter, which I have to homeschool her, which is not easy. But yeah, so
Okay.
I gotta
So
go to work.
what have you done to? I mean, what have they said? Are they going to keep going? I mean, how long are they going to make you work?
Until the government and the New York State says, like, that's it, like, you have to shut down and stay home. But until then, I still have to go to work because unfortunately I don't have access to work from home. So my job is in the office, so I have to come in order to get paid, because if not, then I won't get paid at all.
Have you asked HR if there is a way for you to work from home?
So it's funny because it's weird. My company is weird. Like we have an HR, but not really.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's because we're a private company, so it's family owned. The business been open since 1962. So yeah, so that's my dilemma right now.
So here's the thing, love. You should remind your company that the governor of New York said yesterday that companies are not allowed to have more than 50% of their workforce working. Not allowed. I don't know how big your company is, but you could always use that as a reason, given the fact that you are a single mom, right? Who's watching your daughter while you're gone?
My friend, she's watching my daughter.
Okay, all right. And you're sanitizing to the best of your ability when you come home, but when you enter the house?
Yeah, as soon as I walk through the door, I'm stripping.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's not. I'm sorry, Mike. It's not easy. It's really scary, and you know, like my whole office is at work. Like I have employees that are 60 years old and up that is still working. And
how far are you away from your coworkers when you're at work?
Right. Well, the other receptionist, she's more than 6 feet away from me,
Okay.
but people have to walk by, so it's like it's close. We're still close.
Yeah.
Everything
listen.
is still close.
Here's the thing. The last thing a company wants is the shame that comes with forcing people to work in the middle of a national emergency. So to the best of your ability and to the point where you feel the courage to do so, I would encourage you to go to them and say, I do not feel comfortable. Listen, here's the thing. Nobody wants to fire you and then get a call from somebody like me to find out why they fired somebody who felt unsafe doing that. Okay. So I would encourage you, again, if you feel comfortable, to have a very frank conversation with them.
Okay.
And see what you say, and then go from there. See what they say and go from there.
Okay.
Okay.
I did have a conversation with my boss yesterday.
And
pretty much, you know, he still wants me to come into work until, you know, like until everything shuts down. But my thing is like, my concern is like coming, you know, going to work and then coming back and just bringing something to my family, you know?
100%. Go back to them.
Okay, I will.
Go back.
Oh my God, can I just say that thank you so much for everything that you do for Puerto Rico. Like, I love you, David.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
All right.
Be safe. Be
yes,
safe.
And you too. I'm going to stay safe as possible.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye. You too. Okay.
Oh my gosh, no way. Hi,
Good,
David.
good morning. What is your name?
I'm Desiree. I'm here eating my oranges this morning.
That looks like a healthy breakfast. Where are you? Where are you in the world?
I'm in Miami,
Miami. Who's that
and
sweetie?
this is Sebastian.
The fat. Oh, he's so cute.
Hi, he wants some oranges.
Oh.
How are you?
I'm good, love. What is your new normal like?
Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I've been practicing for this for about 3 years now. We're just getting better and better. I feel like I've been preparing for this for a long time.
You're a pro at it.
Yeah.
Do
So,
you have people coming in the house though? I mean, what precautions are you taking even though you're staying home?
well, for the most part, I feel we've kind of been following the story since it developed back in January, you know. My mom's in the healthcare field. I study natural medicine, Chinese medicine, and a lot of my professors have relationships with people from China, and
Yep.
it's kind of been circulating. We really didn't know how serious it was going to be, but for the most part, we invited like my boyfriend's parents over last week, or maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I went to go see my parents last week, and I invited my brother over last week, and I kind of told them like this is kind of like our last hugs, and not really trying to like inflict fear in them, but just wanted to let them know that this is serious, you know.
Because
Like,
we need to protect them. I mean,
yeah,
they're at highest risk.
absolutely. They're not that old, but we really don't know what to expect at this point because, you know, all the information that we're getting is like 2 weeks old. So,
Right.
and everything is developing, and that's something that I don't think people really realize. So,
So as of right now, are you allowing anyone to come into your home?
if somebody comes, I just have them come meet me in my backyard. Literally, like I just open up my gate. Like I had a friend come over and I was talking to her about some personal stuff. And I just had her, we sat right there in my backyard. Like she didn't even come inside the house, to be honest.
And so you maintain a distance as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
And not even because of like the fear of it, but more because we have to practice this. Like we don't get good at things until we practice them regularly. So
I agree with you. And it's not about, I don't think listening to the professionals is being fearful. I think it's being mindful. Like we're just being mindful. That's all, right? Because I don't want it, but more importantly, I don't want to give it to someone.
absolutely.
I don't want to give it to someone. Yeah. I mean, I have colleagues who have it, and some of them have very mild symptoms. Some of them have pretty serious symptoms. So we don't know how it's going to deal with each of us. And, you know, I mean, other than Paddington, I don't go within 6 feet of anybody,
Good.
you know?
Good.
So,
We have to like lead by example now because a lot of people
amen.
there's still a lot of like unknown, and there's still a lot of people joking. I don't think people are joking about it as much anymore.
That's
I
dialed
went to
down.
the
That's
supermarket.
dialed down, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had to go to the supermarket and do that, you know, the crazy stuff, because as soon as Trump mentioned that we were like facing a national emergency, like it was like 3 a.m. when I saw it, and me and my husband, we went to Walmart and we just were like, we're gonna get what we need. And I kind of like, I posted a picture with a bandana, you know, hashtag.
I'm sorry. I lost you. You said I posted what?
I posted a picture covering my face with a bandana. This was like last week, beginning of the week, you know.
Yeah.
And on my story, and a lot of people were laughing, and I'm like I'm not doing it to be funny. I'm doing it to spread awareness, you know. I went to the supermarket and I had my face covered, and I felt ashamed to have my face covered because I knew I was being judged, and all the people that were working in the supermarket were like laughing at me. One of the guys even pulled me off of the line, and he was like, he opened up because I had my cart full, so he opened up the register for me, and he's looking at me like, "Are you all right? Like, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "You don't know how good I am, you know. Like, I'm prepared, so like that's all that really matters, you know." Like nothing else is
Amen.
certain. So,
Amen. Somebody asked for your Instagram handle. Would you like to share it?
yes, it is H2O, like the water, H2O mostly. So
H2O mostly.
the number 2OMOSTLY.
Got
I'm
it.
kind of
Perfect.
silly. So I post a lot of silly stuff. But for the most part, when I tell you I've been kind of preparing for this for a long time, let me show you. So I grow herbs and I make medicine. And
I see that.
I've been like these past couple weeks, the only people that I have seen are like my local farmers. Like I went to the farmers market on Sunday because like you have to support the people that really, like I know it's easy to support corporations and things that are like easy to get, you know, but I feel like now more than ever we have to come back to community and support local. If you know somebody who,
I love that.
yeah,
I love that. And listen, food is medicine. So
absolutely.
sign me up for growing food and eating food that is
My mom,
antibiotic free and
absolutely,
pesticide free. So
absolutely.
listen, I'm glad we talked. Thank you for weighing in, and stay safe.
You too. Thank you so much, David. We all love you. I put everybody on to you, so.
You're welcome, love.
Can I get a
Bye.
selfie?
Yes. Oh, I feel so bad. Hey, listen. So if she's still on, here's what we can do. You can go back once I post this. You can go back and look at the feed, and once you look at the feed, then you can take a screen grab of that. Let's see. I'm trying to talk to people we haven't talked to before.
Hello. Oh my goodness. I look like a crazy. I thought you were never gonna take my call.
Well, surprise. What's your name?
My name is Shayla.
Shayla. And where do you live?
So, well, I'm literally right now staying in a friend's house because a month ago, we came from South Korea.
Okay.
We were living there just when the virus exploded. When we came here, there was only like 25% confirmed. And then I came here because we have Puerto Rican friends here in Georgia. So we're from the military.
Okay.
And my husband, he's on a training, and he's supposed to, we're like in the air right now because they say that we're supposed to move to Florida next month, right? But we can move from the city until May. So it's a little hard because so I don't know how much you know about the military, but when you're in TDY, that means that you are like moving. They don't pay you for housing or other stuff. So you're kind of receiving the half of the salary. They pay you monthly.
Mm.
So right now we're staying here and we have to wait for them to let us go. And we've been here already for a month.
Okay. So your husband is on active duty?
Yeah, he's active duty. He's taking a training to rank up. And we're staying here in his friend's house because they are so from the military. He works at the hospital.
Did
here.
you guys isolate or quarantine when you came back from South Korea before you went around your friends?
So this is the thing I wanted to share. When we were in South Korea, we went to Japan, we went to Thailand, and we went to Taiwan. And when each travel that we came back, they used to gave us like a card. I don't know if they do that everywhere. They give you a card, and there was like kind of like small viruses, and they were like, hey, if you feel this way, this way, and this way, feel this, and you have to stay in quarantine in these places. But we never felt like completely bad. Just one time we ate something. I think it was water in Thailand, and we had like one night, a horrible night. But then they they were okay. So the thing is that we came here through a military airplane, and
Right.
it was a military airport. And to be sincere, I was like really surprised that they didn't say anything. We came here like nothing.
When did you come here?
The February the 13th.
Yeah, they hadn't gotten their act together. They hadn't
And
gotten
then,
their act together.
so they, we just got here and they say anything. And I was like, oh my God, I could have bring the virus here. And they were like, okay. And I have a friend, she came from Italy, like, I can say like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And I saw her yesterday here.
Wow.
On post. Yeah. So while we're, we are self quarantine, we just go to the market because I have a 4-year-old kid.
Okay.
And we just go to the market or run in the area so we don't get crazy. Because, it is hard because we want to go to our new house, but we don't know where we're going. And even though they are making us feel really comfortable here, it is hard because everyone needs their privacy,
Good. And where are you in Georgia?
Augusta. There's already 2 cases here in Georgia. Well, 2 cases in the city. And
Right.
I read in the news that they were investigating like 5 people. They came from, that was like a week ago. They came from, from South Korea, one from China, one from Italy, and the other 2, I don't know where they came from.
Yep.
And that they were investigating. But my friends, he works in the hospital, and he said that sometimes they,
Okay, so let's stay away from what you're hearing from other people, and I just want to stick to what you know.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
want to I just want to stick to what you know. So, is there anything else about your new normal that you want to share?
Well, so my son, he was at the pre-K, and now, since we've been here, I'm trying to homeschool him. It's a little hard because they're in Korea. So I was preschooling other kids from a co-op. It was homeschooling co-op from Camp Humphreys, and I was teaching Spanish as a second language. So I'm a linguist. I made a master's degree in linguistics, but since my husband is on the military, it's hard to find a job, because then if you find a job as a professor or something, I was teaching in the UPR actually, but I had to leave my job to go with him. And now, I'm trying to help with church. I'm helping with church, with the youth.
That's great. Well, listen, do all that from afar, right? Because you don't want to be near people. You don't want to be near people. That's the guidance that's being given from the medical experts.
Like literally right now, since I'm on post, the good thing about being on the base is that they don't let a lot of people enter here. Nobody, like you need to have a military ID. You have to be a dependent or whatever to come here, right? So it's a good thing. I feel safe, but I have to confess that I felt safer in South Korea, believe it or not.
It's interesting you say that. We talked to a Puerto Rican woman yesterday who said the South Korean government is just handling it, she thinks, so well, and they make her feel safe. Yeah.
They have, I don't know if they told you that, so they have cameras everywhere. If you go to a park, I want to share this because I'm really gonna miss South Korea like crazy. People said, oh, you're so lucky you moved here and just in time. And I was like, believe me, I'm not happy to move because it was so awesome. There were cameras everywhere. You go to your kids, with your kids to the streets, and you're not afraid somebody's gonna kidnap them. If you leave your cell phone in a public place, you're gonna go back tomorrow and it's gonna be in the same place. Wow. It's so amazing. Like I lived for 2 years, not feeling afraid. It was so good.
Well, listen, I'm glad you shared your story. My best to you and the baby. And the top. And your
Thank
husband.
you, and thank you for everything you've been doing. Like I've been following you from far away, and I'm so glad we have somebody like you. Like really, that you don't give news just to give news, but you actually worry, and I can see it. And I know that every person who's been here is telling you the same. But I'm really glad you're doing this for you, and I want to take a selfie.
Do it. Let's do it.
Thank you so much, David.
You're welcome,
Bye-bye.
love. Good luck to you. Bye-bye, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hello.
Oh, there we go. Oh, hi.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Diana. How are you, David?
I'm good, Diana. Where are you in the world?
I am in Boston.
Okay, so what did you want to tell us about your new normal?
I'm a flight attendant.
Ah, yeah.
And not only that, I'm from Puerto Rico and I am based in Boston.
Yep.
And the new normal, I guess it's the uncertainty of, well, our business is, it's not doing too well. People are not flying, but we still got to go. I'm worried about Puerto Rico. I know I was there last week, a few days ago, and then by the time I got there, I guess we didn't know as much information as we know now. And I live with I'm a commuter.
Yes.
So I live with my grandparents back home. So I was just worried.
So let me ask you, I talked to a flight attendant on the island who works for a major airline, and she's not flying because she's worried about bringing something back to her parents who she lives with.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still flying?
I am. I haven't, like, I didn't yesterday, and today I'm on call. A lot of stuff has been canceled.
Yeah.
They are giving us options, but I just have to see if that's something that I can, do, because obviously we can take the time off and we wouldn't have anything against us, but it's not paid, obviously.
You're not being, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But they've been amazing. We still will get our benefits, our health benefits and everything. We just wouldn't be paid on our regular pay. And so it's something that I'm considering, just because now more information is coming out and it's like, okay, we might be able to file for unemployment.
Right.
But still, come back to our jobs when hopefully to God everything comes back to normal.
Amen.
Also, I'm scared to get stuck in Boston and not be able, because Puerto Rico is thinking, we're not going to get any flights in.
Well, the governor's asking to close the airport. She has not been given approval for that. We don't know that she will, but as soon as I find out, I will let you guys know. I'm glad you jumped on. I've talked to so many flight attendants from Puerto Rico. There's a lot of flight attendants in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I say so many. There's been a half dozen or so, but quite a few. So I'm glad you weighed in. Anything else you want to say before I say thank you?
Like everyone else that's talked to you from PR, we love you. We thank you so much for everything that you've done. And just stay healthy. And kisses and hugs and kisses to your doggy. He's so cute.
Amen. He's sleeping at my feet. So thank you. Thank you. So
it's
nice.
Selfie time.
Okay, let's go.
Bye, David. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe out there. Bye.
I will love you too. Bye-bye.
Hello, David.
Hi. Have we spoken before?
No, this is the first time, I think.
You look familiar. What's your name and where are you?
I'm Mario. I'm from San Germán, Puerto Rico. I'm here in my grandmother's house. We're in quarantine since Monday, I think you know.
Okay. Tell me about your new normal.
Well, we have to adapt at this point. I think the most difficult part is not getting out of the house. I know I can walk through the patio or something, but not seeing people that I've known for so many years, it's like the most difficult thing, but it's a necessity to do so. We need to stop this virus at all costs. I think, you know.
Do you work?
I'm currently a university student in Maya West.
Oh, awesome. What are you studying?
History. I'm studying history at this point.
I love that. Okay, so are you able to take classes online?
I'm starting online classes on next Monday, so I'm preparing my stuff to cope with what will be a very stressing thing.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. And how's your grandma?
My grandmother is well at this point. We're trying to prevent any sort of contact with people outside because she is a very high risk person. She suffers from chronic asthma, and also she has problems with it. She has other conditions that make her vulnerable to the virus at this point.
You are very well spoken. I thank you for joining in and telling us your part of the story in your part of the world. My best to you and your grandmother. Keep people away from your grandma at all costs.
I will do. I will do. And I want to thank you for everything you have done for us here in Puerto Rico, that and exposing everything that we may not know, because certainly information is getting very slow at this point, either from the government or other sorts of organization. But we thank you for that, and we appreciate it.
I thank you, and I want you to know that the government in this case has been very responsive, and I quite frankly have been impressed by their ability to respond to just about every request that I send their way. You know, this is a matter of public health. It's a national emergency, and it's not the time to let anybody's politics get in the way. So I just want to let you know, you should trust, based on what I'm experiencing, that the government appears to be doing the best that they can and acting fast. That's just my interpretation in dealing with them. Okay?
We will be very, very cautious with this, but we still thank you for what you have done at this point.
And I thank you for the steps you're taking to protect yourself and your grandmother. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, very nice gentleman. Very nice gentleman.
Hey, David, good morning.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you in the world?
My name is Jacinto Cruz. I'm in Monmouth County, New Jersey. Okay. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of yours. I am a unemployed Uber driver. I'm very careful about the fact of what's going on. I drive around with disinfectant wipes and stuff like that for the car and for the people, but I'm very cognizant of the fact of what everything that's happening. But without a doubt, economically, it's going to hurt everybody because it's going to trickle down. Now,
Mr. Cruz, when you say you're an unemployed Uber driver, why are you unemployed?
Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's moving, and that's a good thing. Let's not get it confused. You know what I mean? Because I'd rather be unemployed and know that people are being safe, thinking that humanity's going to win out. You understand?
Absolutely.
Soy puertorriqueño y con un orgullo yo te llamo hermano. With a pride inside of me, everything that you've done for our people, for our island, for those that refuse to acknowledge the fact that we are American, because you don't hear anything on TV talking about the virus on the island. You don't hear anything on TV. You are singularly the only voice we have in the media.
Well, you can count on me to continue. You can count on it.
Much love, and much love to Paddington.
Thank you. He's sleeping at my feet. And listen, I appreciate, I want to support people like you because it's important. I think of you guys as like small business owners. You're running your own little business in your Uber business, but I know you have the context to appreciate why people are not taking Ubers right now. myself included. I take Uber all the time, everywhere, but I'm not doing that now. So my very best to you, and a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Cruz.
Peace. Stay strong. Much love.
God bless you, sir. Thank you. All right, let's see. I just saw a message from someone who said they are a law enforcement officer, but I don't see their name in the queue here. Said I'm a law enforcement officer on the front line, so I was going to bring them in. But I don't think I see that name here. You having a little nap, buddy? You sleeping on Daddy's light stand?
Hi,
Hi, what's your name? Where are you?
my name is Monix Guarbe. Soy un boricua. I live in Portland, Oregon right now, though.
Portland, Oregon. Tell me about your new normal.
Well, I'm a self-employed house cleaner, so I've had some cancellations, but thankfully I've been able to work a little bit depending on people's situations. So far, most of my clients have been healthy. I've been able to go to some of their houses and clean for them, but it's really touch and go. And I think right now in Portland, the mayor is deciding on if we should be doing a stay at home like everybody except essential personnel, which would mean I would have to then quit all of my cleaning jobs. So we're right at the cusp of that right now.
Yeah. How many clients are still saying, I'll have you come in?
Most of them. I have some elderly clients that's, obviously just like, no, we're not even going to risk it. But I mean, I only have about 13 to 15 clients anyway. And I think about half of them are willing still to have me come and clean as long as everybody's healthy and, I'm using gloves and extra precautions. So.
And you're staying away from them when you go in the house?
Yeah, definitely. Like they leave the house and then I come in and clean. So far that's been manageable, but yeah,
okay,
like I said, that may be ending any day now.
What about transportation? Are you taking public transportation to get there? Are you driving a car?
I'm driving a car, so yeah, it doesn't affect me coming into contact.
You're not exposed. Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like you're in a good situation until, like you said, they make a decision to pretty much ground everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just really concerned about the service industry around here. We have this is a city just full of bars and eateries, and people are just going to be devastated. So it's going to be really hard to see how we all recover together from this. As long as I still have income in the future, I'll be, eating out, for the rest of the year if my income allows, just to help, make up for that lost income that people are suffering.
We all have a part to play, and that is one of the critical parts, is supporting those people who so desperately need it. My tips have gotten bigger. I gave a big old tip to a gentleman who delivered something to me the other day, because why the hell not? I'm in a position to be able to do it, and I appreciate that, and why the hell not?
Yeah, I actually got tips from one of my customers that works in a doctor's office, some sterile gloves. So that was better than money for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Somebody brought me gloves yesterday. I mean, you'd have sworn it was my birthday. I was like, what?
Yeah.
In fact, I took Paddington out this morning, and I put the gloves on. And look, at this point, nobody cares how they look. It's not about how you look, if you look funny, or people understand why you walking around with gloves and staying away from people.
Yeah, it's funny. The other day I went to the grocery store, though, and I was the only one wearing gloves, and that was only like 2 days ago. So I really hope people are taking it more seriously, and I'm just not extrapolating, that no one cares. But yeah, I wish people would take it a little bit more seriously, but I hope that we're getting to that point at least.
Amen. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks for everything you do, David.
You bet. Thank you. Good luck to you. Bye-bye.
David, what's up?
Hi. What is your name and where are you in the world?
My name is Pedro. Right now I'm in San Juan, Puerto Rico, although I'm a neighbor. I live in New York City because I went to college in Boston, and then I got a job there. I moved down to New York. I've been there since July. And after all this unfolded, I said I'd rather be home with my family, locked down, than in my 500 square foot apartment in New York City. So I was going nuts.
I get it.
And I just pulled the trigger because we're all mandatory working from home indefinitely.
So you have a job where you're able to work remotely.
Yeah, I work for a multinational global bank headquartered in Madrid, but we have a huge operations in the United States. And last Wednesday it was like the first official firm-wide, at least in the U.S. I'm not aware in the other countries, at least in the U.S., where they said you guys should, non-location specific employees should work from home. So I've been working from home since then.
It's funny to read the comments as people are talking. One person just wrote, "His voice is so satisfying."
Yeah.
So tell me about your new normal.
So I'm here with my mom. She's the CFO of a hospital here in Puerto Rico. So she's getting ready for what's coming ahead. And just working, laptop on, TV on to see the markets, and exercise in the morning. And I cannot go outside unless I'm going to the supermarket.
Or the bank, or the doctor.
Or the bank or the doctor.
Yes.
I have no symptoms so far, so I'm not.
Good.
I'm not
Does your
taking
mom's job require her to go to the hospital, or can she work from home?
Yes and no. So it's flexible. Like Monday, Tuesday, she went to the hospital. She was in the office. Today, she's working from home. So it's kind of because she can walk to the hospital because she's the CFO again. So it's not like she's not taking care of patients or anything like that, but
Right.
rather managing the capacity of the beds and stuff like that. So it's flexible.
Good. I love this. I'm glad you checked in.
Yeah, thank you for everything you do. This is the millionth time that you hear thank you from Puerto Ricans. Thank you for everything you do. It's pretty awesome. Take care of Patty. Patty's awesome too.
Paddington is, oh shit, where did he go? He's sleeping by the TV now. Thank you. I send the love right back to all of you guys. So listen, enjoy the family time, man. You got a good setup where you are.
Yeah. I'm not enjoying being close. Being home and not being able to go out, but I'm fine. I'd rather be here for sure. I think I'd made the right decision coming down and just, because at the end of the day, I don't know when I'm coming back to the office. My take or my guess, I should say, is I'm not going back to the office at least until May. So
I would say that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
How's
New York? How's New York? Pretty quiet, huh?
New York is good. I'll show you as we talk. So I've never seen the West Side Highway so empty. It looks like it does or would on Christmas Day. And they had a little bit of rain, but it's very, very quiet. But listen, that's a good thing. That is a good, here's the thing. Early on, I was worried that people weren't taking it seriously and people were making fun of it, right? They were making fun of the media. They were making fun of the officials. I think people are getting it at rapid speed. Folks are getting it,
Yeah.
And this is an example of
Yeah,
it. But
once it starts hurting people's pockets, people take it seriously.
And Cuomo said he's not going to lock down De Blasio was the mayor was talking about locking down New York City, but Cuomo said no. So they're kind of in a back and forth right now. But if they lock down New York City.
Yeah, I have a friend that works for the New York Times, and he covers the Albany area. So he's been kind of, super aware of and up to date of what's happening from the Cuomo side. And the expectations are that they're gonna need 100,000 beds, and they only have.
Well, Trump is sending the USS Comfort, which was the hospital ship that went to Puerto
Rico for Maria.
Right. So just for everybody watching who may not know, the president dispatched the Comfort and the Mercy. The Mercy's in San Diego. It will go up the West Coast.
Okay.
The Comfort is in Norfolk, so it'll come up the East Coast to New York. It is not going to be used for coronavirus patients. It's going to be used to help clear the hospitals of other patients that can be brought onto the ship, because the ship does not have the capability to handle infectious disease. So what they want to do, well, here we are again. Instagram kicked us off at that 1 hour mark. You know, it would be nice if Instagram at least gave you a little alert that said you have 60 seconds, you know, because you could wrap everything up, but it doesn't happen. So I'll give a minute for the folks who were on to get on, and we can continue. If you were just watching the conversation that we were having with the gentleman in Puerto Rico, you heard me basically say that they're bringing the hospital ship up to New York, and they're going to use it to help clear out hospital beds in the hospitals in order to make space for coronavirus patients. Just so you know, the Instagram live that you were just watching ended because Instagram cuts them off at an hour. And unless I keep a clock, I don't know when the hour is coming up. So now I'm going to watch. It's 9:46. So you guys keep me honest. If you're still on here with me in an hour, justice for Lorenzo. That's funny. Lorenzo's the guy we just talked to. Anyway, if you're still on here at 10:46, or let's call it 9:45, give me a warning at 10:43 so I can wrap it up. They really should give you a little notice on the phone. Yeah, sorry about that, Lorenzo. If you were watching, I apologize, my man.
Hi, David.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am well. Now I can see you, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm laying down bored.
Laying down bored. Where are you in the world?
I'm in Rochester, New York.
All
But
right,
from
Rochester.
I'm from Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico, the west part. The best,
Tell me
the
about
best
your new,
tourist place.
Tell me about your new normal.
Oh, it's real frustrating, tell you the truth, but we got to do what we got to do.
Well, tell me about your frustrations.
Just being locked up every day, not be able to like, see people, just being around people, you know, get tired of watching TV. What I've been doing lately, to be honest with you, is just every time you go live, just watch everybody you share with and listen to their stories.
Amen. That's why we're doing it. That's why I'm doing it, because I want to give people like you a place to listen. Because don't you agree? I don't know. Do you feel like I do, that listening to other people's stories helps put mine in perspective, and it gives me an outlet to not go crazy by myself?
In reality, it's more like a therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
David, I'm going to keep you in mind, because when the Rochester Puerto Rican festival comes in July, I want to see if I can get in touch with those people. We want to dedicate that festival to you.
Oh, God bless you for that. There are Puerto Ricans all over the place. Of course, y'all are in Rochester. Listen, I'm glad you weighed in. I thank you for doing that. I will be doing more of these, so I will keep you looped in, okay?
Yeah, and belated thank you for all you did and have done since Maria on. I'd like to welcome you to the Puerto Rican race, because you're officially a Puerto Rican now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You take care of yourself.
All right. Thank you. You too. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. So just to clarify, I guess I thought Lorenzo was the person we were last talking to. I really should be writing down names, because there's so many names going back and forth. But somebody said, no, Lorenzo is somebody who died 10 years ago, and there has not been justice for him. So I hear you. Next on deck. Listen, I see a lot of you saying, David, call on me. I can only call on what I see in the queue. So I'm trying to get to as many different people who I haven't already heard from, but just know that.
Hey, David.
Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Daniel. I'm currently at work.
And where is work?
Orlando, Florida.
Okay. What type of work do you do?
I work in automotive.
Automotive. Okay. So selling cars, what?
Pretty much, yeah, from the internet perspective, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the theory in terms of whether it's safe for you to go to work or not, or how do you feel?
Well, I mean, traffic has definitely slowed down tremendously. We're seeing, you know, a lot of people are scared to come out.
Yep.
The job that I'm at has taken a lot of precautions with regards to cleanliness, environment. They provided a lot of, you know, Purell and hand sanitizers and things of that nature. But for the most part, we feel comfortable here. We're kind of a little scared, but not as much as what we're hearing from the customers that have called in.
The customers are quite afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they can, so let's say I want to buy a car, I go through you, I can buy the car and get the deal done and never have to meet you.
Well, if you have to come in to sign paperwork, what we're doing is we're kind of switching our program so that way we can do something remotely where we can get the customers we'll even take the cars to them for like a test drive. So that way they don't actually have to physically come into the dealership. We're in the process of doing that. It's just, it requires a lot of manpower. And I'm currently at a location that the volume is really, really high.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
look, thanks for jumping in. I mean, this is good to hear the unique stories of people who, you know, you're not sitting side by side with someone. Sounds like you have some space at work. Sounds like you're sanitizing to the best of your ability. So you'll do it until they shut it down.
Yeah.
Fine.
Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, so I just saw a message from someone who says she is going to do yoga. Linda. Okay, Linda, come on. Paddington, my sweet boy. Why don't you go lay in your bed? Waiting for Linda. She just sent a message saying, I got to go teach yoga soon, so can I get on? Linda. It says connecting. I don't think Linda's answering. Oh, it says she declined. Okay. Paddington's got his head on the dining room table, the foot of the table. He's laying on the foot. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm having the button blues again. Not working. So I'm going to end this live and we'll start another one. Come back. The button to bring y'all in is not working. So I'm going to end it and be right back. And we are back, waiting for people to join in. We had an issue with the last live where the button that I have to push in order to see who's in the queue wanting to chat live was not working. So give everybody a chance to get back on. And while we do that, I'm going to show you the boy. People want to see you. People want to see you. Do y'all see this? This is what I have to deal with. Pieces of his toy that he has annihilated, which has gone into the garbage bin because this little monster tore it apart. Patty cakes. Everybody wants to see you. Everybody wants to see you. All right, so here we go. Turn it around, and voila. All right, Linda, I'm gonna try you one more time. Linda doing yoga, said I gotta go. Can I get on, please, please, please? Still says connecting to Linda. No connecting. You're good until 10:50. I love it. Somebody's looking out for me. Good until 10:50. Keep me honest.
Hi. Oh my gosh.
How are you? What is your name?
Hi, I'm Gabriela Munoz. I'm a data analyst for an e-commerce company.
Okay, and where
So
are you in the world?
I'm in Long Beach, New York, so in Long Island.
Okay, all right. So tell me about your new name.
Sorry. So because I work for an e-commerce company, I'm actually able to work remotely, which is really fortunate for me.
Yeah.
I'm also a volunteer firefighter.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh.
Wait,
Gab,
careful.
hold on just one second. My mother is calling, and
Okay.
as much as I want to continue listening to you, I just want to make sure that everything's okay. Is everything okay? I'm just doing an Instagram live right now, and you called twice, so I wanted to make sure there was no issue. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, Okay, love you. Bye. I'm sorry.
No worries.
So I'm interested in this volunteer firefighter angle. So I mean, I guess you're still responding to calls?
So I was up until yesterday. I developed a cough, and I was feeling a little feverish yesterday. So I don't think it's anything. I'm thinking it's just allergies, but it's not worth risking the entire department over. So I've put in a note for leave, which is really stinks, because it's one less person they have responding to calls. We have there's like a drive-through test site set up in Jones Beach, which is like 10 minutes away from Long Beach. So I called yesterday to get an appointment. First responders are supposed to get priority, which I'm sure there are a lot of first responders trying to get tested. So I can understand that priority is still going to take a little time. But what happened is I called, it took 20 minutes to get on the phone with someone, talk to that person, told them my symptoms. They were kind of like, it's not really, like, if you don't have like a really high fever, if you don't have like really severe symptoms, they're not really testing people. And I was like, I understand that. I was like, I'm a first responder though, and I can't respond if I think I'm sick. So then they passed me on to the next person. I was on hold for 2 hours. Then they finally picked up, told them my symptoms again. They kind of said the same stuff. They didn't really want to, I guess, make an appointment for me. But again, I was a first responder. I can't respond. So they took down my information. They filled out an intake form, and I was told that they'd get back to me that they'll send that to my local board of health, and then the local board of health will contact me, and it can take up to a couple days.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. So that's what priority looks like.
Wow.
I mean, again, I don't have severe symptoms, so I understand like there are definitely other people who might need to be tested more so, but I also feel like it's even more important to test people with mild symptoms, because those are the people who think they're fine, who are just sorry. Those are the people who think they're fine, who are just, walking around like nothing's wrong.
100%. I'm sure glad you shared your story with us. I'm going to be doing this for as long as there's a need. So why don't you come back and update us?
Okay, yeah, I will. Hopefully I hear back from them soon.
I hope you do too. Let us know.
And just want to say again, thank you. I'm Puerto Rican too, so my family's in Puerto Rico right now, so it's kind of, we're all keeping in contact over texting and calling and just kind of sharing the wild stories that we're all experiencing.
Somebody just asked, do you have a fever? No fever?
I felt feverish, but I did not have, it wasn't like a high fever. It was like slightly elevated temperatures, but nothing
of 103 or higher, which 103 seems to be the number that they're looking for.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
I've been taking my temperature like once every couple hours just to monitor it.
Yeah.
And just trying to kind of keep an eye on symptoms. I have someone going out and buying me some like allergy medicine and stuff just to see maybe it's just something like that. But I did over the weekend, I traveled. I flew to Virginia and came back. So, I mean, obviously Virginia, doesn't have many cases, but I was in JFK, and
Yeah,
that just
look, I
seemed
mean, you
like
definitely
breeding
could have.
ground for it
Yeah,
all.
yeah, no, you definitely could have gotten it. So, we'll see. But thanks for sharing your story. You're an example of a mindful citizen who is doing their role to not get other people sick. So,
Yeah,
thank you,
fine.
thank you. Nice chatting with you.
All right, thanks.
Bye bye.
I'm on.
Hi there.
Hey, David, how you doing?
I'm good. What's your name?
My name's Xavier.
And where are you in the world?
I'm actually in Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay, tell me your story. What do you want us to know?
So I'm a registered nurse. I work at Yale New Haven Hospital,
Yeah,
and there's a lot going on.
yeah.
A lot going on. So, I mean, basically, the hospital's mobilizing. It's the what they're doing and what I'm seeing there as an ICU nurse is something I've never seen. I've been there 8 years. Hospital's probably never done anything like this, and it's pretty scary, to be real honest with you. So you like to
How
be
are you
prepared.
protecting yourself? How are you? I mean, just give me the run through. What's the situation?
So I mean, you've seen the pictures, the protective equipment that
Yeah.
we're expected to wear, and the scariest part is that we don't have it. We have it at the hospital, but it's like this is our supply, and when we run out, we run out. They don't have stockpiles of N95 masks, which is what we need, and we're gonna end up probably having to recycle these masks. Which are not
What
meant to be
area of the
recycled.
hospital? What area of the hospital are you nurse in, Xavier?
So I work in surgical trauma, ICU. So,
Okay, so like you need a mask. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, we're in the ICUs. And then since I used to work in the emergency department, I still work there. So I moonlight. So I pick up my overtime in the ER, and so I get to see both sides of it. People trying to get into the ER, people trying to get into the hospital, and they're being triaged and sent right back out the door because they don't want these people flooding in.
Do you have a specific area where people exhibiting signs of what may be COVID-19 or are sort of brought through, so to not bring them into the main emergency room area?
So there are tents set up outside the EDs, and people are being screened. And if they're being screened with suspicion for COVID and not sick, they're being sent right back home. And I could tell you that the biggest issue that we're facing and all over the nation they're facing is testing. Testing is not readily available. And so they're saving it for those people that really need to be tested. Yeah. And what I'm trying to do, the reason why I signed on with you today is, I'm trying to raise awareness. I don't think people realize that this is something that's unprecedented. And, we're all kind of facing it differently. People are out of work. I'm not out of work. I have to go to work. This is what I signed up for. This is my job. But it's pretty scary that we can run out of the one thing that we really need to combat this. You take me or a couple people in my unit that go out, you could wipe out a whole ICU of staff, and then we can't take care of patients.
God bless you, Xavier. This is really good context. It's a sobering conversation to have, but people need to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Awareness.
And I wanted to share something that happened yesterday. You might appreciate this. I think you will. A nurse that I work with in the ER, she went to a car dealership with her boyfriend to look at a car, and they actually once they found out she was an ER nurse, they asked her to leave, and they told her to get out. And that's something that I, in the back of my head, I'm like, is this going to start happening? And sure enough, right here in Connecticut.
Whoa.
Here we are, we're on the front, and we're dealing with it, not because we want to, but we have to.
Whoa.
And, that's something else that, I guess we're going to start having to deal with from certain parts of the population.
That didn't even occur to me. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about a backlash toward you guys from people. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I tip my hat. I send my love and my deepest appreciation for the work that you're doing. We can't lose you guys. And so we are all aware of this. I hear you. Everybody watching hears you.
And just a shout out to my wife. My wife is a respiratory therapist. A lot of people have heard of them lately. Those are the ones that manage the ventilators. They manage these patients and all that stuff that's in these lungs that are going to be getting infected real soon. So
protect her at all costs.
Oh yeah. So she's that. They're the unsung heroes, along with all the people out there. And really, David, I've been following you for a while, man. You are a hero. I'm Puerto Rican. You're a hero to Puerto Ricans. You make us proud. And I mean, journalists to Puerto Ricans to just people who are great. You are a perfect example to all of us. So that's why I'm on here today, to say hello to you, to share a little bit of my story. And thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you. We need you. Stay healthy.
All right. Thanks. You too.
God bless.
Bye. You too.
Wow, that was a sobering. That was another. There have been so many just real, honest conversations that we have had on here. It's incredible. It's incredible.
I'm so excited!
Hi.
David.
What's your name?
My name is Kylie.
Kylie. And where are you in the world?
So I'm in a small town.
Hold on just one second. Forgive me. I need to take this call. This is a doctor in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Hello, Doc. I'm good. How are you?
What are you doing? Stop. Hey guys. Focus. Hey Brayden.
Uh-huh.
I'm on the phone.
Right. Right.
Hey Dad. Hey Mom. Yes, my love.
Are you so you're in this particular situation yourself? Okay. Okay. Are you in a position to do a Skype interview?
Guys. Hey. Can you wave?
I should buy this emote.
Well, without releasing the names, can't you talk about it with while keeping that anonymous?
Okay, fine.
Can you wave hi?
Well, listen, what we need to do is we need to be specific. I've told everybody, I don't want second and third hand information. This is a serious time in the world, and I only want first hand information from people directly involved. So this is something that people need to hear about. But I would need you to feel comfortable talking.
Sit.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. No, wait, don't. He's my friend.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Listen, this is a very important thing. So I'm can you do me a favor? So I'm doing an Instagram live right now, and no, don't apologize, please. Can you text me the way we usually text, exactly what the situation is, and then I need you to think about whether you're comfortable doing that anyway, because this is certainly a very valid issue. Okay, so think about it and send me the rest of the information, and I'll be in touch. Okay, all right, bye-bye. That's usually how it happens. A call comes and one thing leads to another. So I'm sorry, your name and where you are in the world.
My name is Kylie. I currently reside in a small town of O'Fallon, Illinois.
Okay.
It's just outside of St. Louis, so I live in St. Louis. But yeah, so our normal's been a little weird, to say the least. My husband is active duty Air Force, so we are stationed here. We are from Orlando, Florida. So my mom, his parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole 9 yards, live in Orlando. We were actually supposed to be in New York next week for global entry interviews.
Yes.
And then I usually go for opening day for the Mets, and we were going to do the city and the whole thing because we found out in January we were moving, or we hopefully still are, to Tokyo, Japan in July.
Oh, okay.
So, in the midst of the chaos, I have been prepping a house to sell. I have been purging the house to move. And now we're all kind of on hold as the DOD has issued, a stop move for at least 60 days.
Is there a world in which your husband gets called up, because the military is looking at the possibility of opening field hospitals like we do during war in places around the country? Is that something he could be activated for?
I don't know. So my husband's a pilot. So he is a C-130 pilot. So unless we're transporting things to and from.
Well, we are, and here's the interesting thing. These field hospitals, as our Pentagon correspondent was explaining to us yesterday, are actually loaded into the back of these transport planes and will be flown around the country. So he could be called up.
It's totally, at this point, anything's possible.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing to maintain an environment that is as isolated as possible?
So, one, we live out in farm country. So literally during this, summers, we go to the farm. So we're pretty open spaced as it is. My husband still has to go to work. So, he goes, does what he needs to do, and then comes home, if at all possible. Due to secret servers and all that other stuff, he has to be in the office in order to do a lot of things. But for us, we're here. We're staying home. We are, he's been kind of the one, if I need something from the store, I'm like, this point, go do. But I stocked up a couple of weeks ago when things kind of started. We have friends in Italy, stationed in Italy. We have friends stationed in Germany. So they were kind of telling us, hey, if it happens there like it happened here, you guys should be ready to kind of hunker down and just kind of be home. So that's what we've been. And I've kind of established homeschool. So my kids start homeschool in 15 minutes. Right now they're on Fortnite. Of course, Fortnite is life. So we spend the morning doing different activities. Their teachers have been wonderful. They've kind of given things. Here are the websites we use. Here are sheets. Here are kind of lesson plans to follow if you can. If not, enjoy your time with your kids, learn new things, do new things. So we're still learning Japanese. That's part of our daily lesson. So that we can do that. And then my youngest, so that's while you were on the phone, people were commenting to see the kids. That's why they were waving. So, hey, hold on. So Mr. Logan is experiencing something new today. Can you say hi?
Hi, Logan.
What's today?
God, look how cute. Look at those eyes.
What's today?
My birthday.
Whoa! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Logan. Happy birthday to you.
What do you say?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
Normally we have a house full. My parents travel in. My grandparents travel in. So it's been a little weird. His his mom dropped off at the door, his birthday present. So we've just kind of, we promised him when everything's done and over that we will have a big celebration, whether it be, 3 months from now or next year, we'll double the celebration.
We'll have a double birthday next year.
Right. So that's,
I love it.
Well,
listen, it sounds like you're in a good place. Somebody wrote a little earlier, dang, cool mom. So I tip my hat to you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, David. Good luck.
You're welcome. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So somebody was asking about why do we have hospital workers on here? We've had I'm sorry, not hospital. Hi, what's your name?
That's you messing with me. No, look. Hi, David.
Hi.
I'm Michelle. How are you?
Hi, Michelle.
Oh, I'm a mess.
I'm good. Was somebody messing with you?
My son. Hey, David. I'm Douglas.
Hi, Douglas. Hi, Douglas. So tell me where you two are.
In St. Cloud, Florida. That's Elizabeth. Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth. So tell me about your new normal.
I resigned my job yesterday because my boss had gone to Peru to visit our crew that works from there. And he somehow, because they're on lockdown, he managed to get on a plane and come home and right away showed up at the office. And one of my coworkers is expecting. And I was like, you know what? And I'm not comfortable with this. And for that and many other reasons, I've walked away because I've got babies. I have thyroid issues which compromises my immune system. And I was like, bye-bye.
Wow. Okay.
So home with the kids, hanging out, doing mom stuff. And that's Bronte.
Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, well, that's good. So are y'all staying inside mostly?
Most of the time, yes. We were going to go hiking because that's very isolated, but...
Listen, the medical advice that we've gotten is that going outside is not a problem so long as going outside doesn't involve being around close proximity to other people. So just be mindful of that. Look how sweet. Mama and son. That's a good little photo right there. Click.
Can we do a selfie?
I'm sorry?
Can we do a selfie?
Of course. Let's do it.
Wait, I got it.
There's
Thank you,
your
David.
selfie.
Thanks for
Y'all-
everything you do.
Look
at our bird.
Y'all have a wonderful.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question. What is being done about the homeless community, not just in Puerto Rico, but around the United States to avoid the spread of the virus?
So it's a good question. In Puerto Rico specifically, the governor put out something 48 hours ago talking about what they're doing to deal with it. That's on her Twitter account if you want to go and take a look at it. Here in the United States, I have not heard. I know the question has been asked, not only of the president, but also of local mayors. And I do know that here in New York City, they're obviously concerned. You know, a lot of people who are homeless sleep on the subway, right? And so we need to be mindful that trying to find them a place to sleep further protects them, but it also protects those of us who might get on a train, right? Because that person doesn't have another place to sleep, so they're sleeping on the seat, but they may expose us to something they happen to catch. So I don't have a good answer for you, other than I know different people have talked about being mindful of that issue, but in terms of action, I haven't seen it yet.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Much love to Paddington.
Thank you. He's sleeping. Y'all be good. Take care, family.
God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you. So, listen, I was going to say, and I was starting to say, a couple of people have asked, why don't we have hotel workers on here? You should know that I don't have a way to screen people. It would be nice because you could kind of sort of figure out what people want to say and then get them on and get to the point. But anybody has a story. That's kind of the cool thing about this, is that it's a surprise every time you bring somebody else in. And there have been 2 hotel workers thus far. There was a young lady we talked to in Utuado, and there was a man who actually works at La Concha in Condado who we talked to, who were hotel workers. So we just bring in whoever we get. Whoever we get, we bring them on in. Okay. Oh, Miss Bonilla. Lawmakers test positive for COVID-19. Mario Diaz-Balart and Ben McAdams. Okay. So these people who are in the queue, I go to queue them up, and then they're either not there, or maybe they just declined it. Maybe they don't want to do it after all. You in the queue? Why you press the button? Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Allison.
Hi, Allison. Where are you in the world?
I am in Bourbonnais, Illinois, so it's like an hour-ish south of Chicago.
Okay.
I'm a Spanish teacher, high school Spanish teacher.
Okay. And what would you like for us to know about your need?
So all of the schools in Illinois have been shut down. We're all supposed to be doing e-learning, which is very interesting when you teach Spanish.
Yeah.
And, yes. So it's been a lot of trying to assign videos and assign worksheets for my kids to do, but there's really very little motivation for them to actually get it done.
How is someone like you able to hold accountable kids who are not in front of you?
So I'm very lucky in that most of my students do have Wi-Fi, and they are able to go on Google Classroom and follow assignments there, and I can track their progress there. A lot of my teacher friends, though, they have to send home packets and just trust that the parents will have the kids do them.
Yeah.
And that's the only kind of resource that they have, because they can't.
Are you still getting paid?
I am, yes. Again, very lucky that my school has decided to pay just like as normal all of their employees, including non-salaried employees.
Very lucky. Very lucky.
Yes. So my new normal involves being at home with this little devil all day.
And who is that?
Her name is Sombra.
Sombra.
She's cutie. She really likes to bite me.
So sweet. Well, thanks for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, it's so cool to meet you. My husband's Puerto Rican from Barceloneta, so we've been following your story a lot.
I've never been to Barceloneta, and I have to tell you, there's something about the name Barceloneta. I just think it's so cool. I know I've not been there, but just the name Barceloneta, it sounds very cool. So, what's your husband do?
He is currently, so he's studying at a university, so all of his classes are online now, which is interesting. He studies biology, so they haven't exactly told us what it's going to look like, but it's going to be interesting because we don't, like, he has labs and he has things that can't really happen online, so
Exactly.
we don't really know what that's going to look like.
Well, tell our friend from Barceloneta I said hello.
I will do so.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, so somebody who I just tried in the queue said that, oh no, David, I want to chat, but it didn't work. So Ms. Bonilla, if you see this, I got your text message. I know you're trying to get on, and I'm looking for you in the queue, but I don't. Oh, there you are. Let's see if it'll add. It is not. It's saying unable to join. So I don't know. Why don't you close out your Instagram and then try again? In the meantime, Ann Williams. Come on down, Ann Williams.
Oh my gosh, David.
Hello.
I am so blessed to finally get to see you and meet you. I send you a message on Messenger. I am from St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel I just got back actually to Florida from home.
Okay.
I manage property there, and we have several issues. I just wanted to say my norm is I was in 2 hurricanes in St. Thomas in 2017. And so this is really frightening for me because I'm here and my people are suffering because we don't get the media attention. We do have a very strong, powerful Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, but we have some cases, and I feel they don't want us to panic. Those that are home and those that are abroad panicking anyway. And I feel that they're lying. We have several cases that have popped up with positive. Our infrastructure of health has always been poor pre-hurricane. Our energy company is now double billing. We got 60 days. I just got off the phone with one of my tenants. We had a water break with the pressure, I guess, going off and on. And so coming from a landlord perspective, we have no money. And I'm saying to him, just look out for the property, cut the grass, keep it clean. And I'm going to have to waiver rent again. I did waiver rent for one tenant 10 months, another 5. I just came from home taking care of over $3,000 water and light bill for them because now they're not going to have jobs. So I contacted you because I wanted you to, Puerto Rico is our sister island. By plane, we're like 15 minutes away. And I do have family in Puerto Rico. And so I was worried about an earthquake. But I want to really tell you just how blessed we are to have you to broadcast. And I follow you from seeing what's happening in Puerto Rico. You bring awareness. I was able to contact my family in Puerto Rico to know they're safe. And, we all are in one. We're Caribbean people. And even though I'm here on the mainland, I'm just concerned about people. I am a retired dental hygienist out in New York. I am from St. Thomas, however, and I work in social work in the Virgin Islands for the government for a very short time and in a senior housing. So my concern is for not only my age group, a senior with health issues, and a lot of the things I want people to understand in this life that we are still suffering post-traumatic stress disorder from the hurricane. Puerto Rico had Maria, but we had Irma and Maria. And that was my first time being in a hurricane. And so I was fine with the hurricane, but I think my post-traumatic stress is trying to restore power because I live close to the hospital home, Roy Lester Schneider. The lineman got electrocuted on my pole in front of my I ended up in a hospital on September 12, 2017 with a blood pressure like 227 over like 200. I'm just glad to be alive, but I continue to pray for you because you bring it real. Your compassion, just for the people of everywhere. So I just wanted to touch base with you to let you know, if you can, since you know Stacey Plaskett or delegate, I hear that the president is talking to governors, but what I would like people to do is, besides the precautions that we have to take,
all right, so
already
it's certainly not her.
And where I'm at in Fort Lauderdale, they're getting ready to. We have, I forgot how many cases in Broward County, and so I live in a senior 55.
All right, so it's not her fault. The signal was obviously bad. If you are still watching, and I hope you are, listen to me very carefully. I hear you. I hear you. Everybody hears you on here. And I thank you for coming to share that story. And I want to tell you what I am so moved by is your willingness to give people a break. Because so many people have said to me, David, what's going to happen when I can't make rent? If I can't make rent, will my landlord allow me to not make rent and delay payment? You are one of those people, and the kindness that you're showing to other people, I'm really moved by. So thank you. Thank you for that. So we hear you. We hear you on the issue of St. Thomas. It does not get the attention that it should. I hear you. I hear you. And, if I could clone myself, I would. I'm looking at some of the information coming in here. Governor Wanda Vasquez announces elimination of IVU in food prepared. Not sure what that even means. Okay, let us proceed. Let us try again. Okay, Ms. Bonilla, for whatever reason, it says that you are unable to join. I know that you're in the queue, but as soon as I click your button, I'm going to try it one more time. Guillermo Bonilla, waiting. Now it says connecting.
I'm here.
It worked. Ta-da.
Hi, David.
Hello, love. Tell everybody who you are and where you are.
I'm Yarimar Bonilla. I'm an anthropologist. I'm a professor at Hunter College, but I'm in Puerto Rico right now. I was supposed to be doing research, but I am homebound in quarantine. I started the quarantine a little bit earlier than everyone else because my aunt was it is still on the Costa Luminosa. And, she, came off the ship and hung out with my family. So a week before Wanda Vasquez declared the official quarantine, we self-quarantined just in case, and hoping that, maybe the test would come back negative, and, it came back positive for the woman who was taken off the cruise ship.
Let's talk about this for a moment, because I saw this a short time ago, and this is kind of concerning. So according to the Miami Herald, the Costa Luminosa cruise ship logs obtained by the Herald show that 24 crew members are isolated for illness and 50 passengers are sick or are roommates of the sick. The ship has 1,427 passengers and it's hoping to dock in France. So they got a real situation on board that boat. And the question is, will France allow them to dock there? Have you been able to speak to your relatives still on the boat?
She sent some text messages and said that the first couple of days after they left here, they weren't told that there was anyone sick before they got to Puerto Rico, which is why, because a lot of people are saying, oh, your aunt is irresponsible, because I wrote in the newspaper about her. And, she had no idea that there was anyone sick. And so at the first couple of days after they left, it was business as usual. They were dancing, they were hanging out. There was no safety measures. People weren't wearing gloves or masks or anything. They were trying to just enjoy the cruise. And it was only later, within the last couple of days, that they have imposed some quarantine measures. And there are people who are sick, but, and they're checking their temperature every day for everyone. But we haven't heard from her. I think, maybe she was able to send a few text messages when they were near a port or something, and we haven't heard from her since. And,
okay,
she's elderly, and we don't really know what's going to happen with her.
So we don't know if she's one of the sick people or not.
No.
Okay,
No.
when you get more, please keep me posted. I would like to follow that.
I will. And it was shocking to me to see that the piece that came out in the Miami Herald, it's not official information that the cruise ship company is giving them. They're checking the logs. They're having to really dig in to see what's happening.
Well, I'll tell you this. I reached out to the cruise ship shortly after, because remember, the issue in Puerto Rico is that the governor said the ship came into port without notifying them that they had a sick passenger on board. And this is an Italian ship. And it had gone, we knew at the time that the ship arrived in Puerto Rico. We knew that Italy was starting to have an outbreak. So anyway, the governor was critical. So I reached out and I sent an email, and I must have had 20 questions. No response back. And usually if I got no response, if you want a way to see me amped up, just don't respond to something. I'll find 7 different ways to get an answer. I haven't gone back to them because so much has happened. I haven't even had a moment to pivot and say, but anyway, so that's just a little bit of context for you.
Yeah.
What did you want us to know about your new normal? Why?
Well, that's why I wasn't actually coming on to talk about my aunt. I wanted to talk
I'm glad you did, though.
No, I wanted to talk about this and what you're doing on IG, which has become kind of my new normal in watching this. I've always said that as a journalist, you have a kind of ethnographer's sensibility. You're like an anthropologist kind of journalist where you're just so, you know, you're always interested in people's individual stories and in giving them platforms. And I always admire what you do on social media. And I feel like I was thinking about it because I've been watching all these days that you've been doing these broadcasts. And it reminds me very much of the role that the radio played here after Hurricane Maria, where, you know, especially when there was no electricity, no internet, no cell phones, all people had were their little crank radios. And so many people that I talked to told me that that made such a difference for them. And, you know, the gentleman that you had on earlier who was just like in his bed, I think, you know, and he was just like, I'm bored, I'm sad, and all I do is, you know, watch this. And I think it's such an important space for people, and it does that work of radio journalism, of informing, because a lot of people are giving helpful bulletins, but and also sharing their need for help. It just reminds me so much of how people would, you know, call in during Maria and say, you know, this is what's happening here. I haven't heard from my relatives. And to me, it's a kind of, you know, this is the post-Maria moment, but now we have cell phones, right? And so the internet is helping us stay connected, feel community, stay calm, but also stay informed in a way that's not sensationalist, but that really helps us through our day. So I wanted to thank you. But then as a nerd, as an academic, you know, I really hope all this is being recorded and archived, and I'm happy to work with you to archive it and do something with it, because, you know, this is a kind of oral history of what people are living through. And in that sense, it is different than radio, because the way radio was operating here, it was really just the voices of Puerto Ricans on the island that could, you know, tune into that radio. But right now, you know, you're getting, you know, video messages from people all over the world.
All over the world.
It's so amazing to see that community that you've created. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who logs in and jumps in and shares their story. And, you know, like I jumped in with no makeup, whatever, home quarantine look. And I appreciate that everyone is just giving us a glimpse of their inner lives and makes us feel like we're not locked into our homes, but, you know, able to peek into our neighbors. So thanks so much.
Two things. I realized a long time ago that the way to connect people to the stories you're telling is to show the human side of it. Facts are essential, but the human connection is where we relate. It's what makes the story matter to the human being. That's number one. Number two, I need your help. I'm not archiving any of this. When I'm done, I share it to my story, and in 24 hours, it rolls off. So the degree to which, if you have somebody who anybody has access to what I'm posting. If somebody wants to grab it and just do a screen grab record on their phone, you certainly are welcome to. Of course, everybody knows that any involvement and engagement on this can be used not only here on social media, but at a later date. So that's like a disclaimer that you sort of you accept when you come on social media. But you bring up a very good point. I just have to tell you, I've always felt like this is kind of first responder journalism, and I never have the time to sit back and go, you know, we ought to archive that, because you're absolutely right. But yeah, it's like people asking me, when are you going to write a book? I'm going to write a book when things slow down. But I haven't found a moment yet that it actually, it's like since 2010, the hurricane, then Rosselló going, then the earthquakes, and now this, it's like, holy moly.
Yeah, well, I'll chat with you offline about how to do that. And I was really disappointed. There was this event at Lehman College that you were going to participate in, and I was going to be in dialogue with you. And so for months, I had been like taking notes of questions that I wanted to ask you. And so maybe we can do that virtually. I'm going to talk to the folks at Lehman College, see if we can still have that event online or something. So
I'm looking forward to that, because I know your questions would be so thoughtful, because your research is so in depth. So I thank you for the feedback. And, you know, you as an anthropologist understand the desire to have the human story told, to get to just continue to peel back the layers. And, you know, what I've learned is the best question I've been asking people is, are you afraid? Because are you afraid turns into an answer of why I'm not, or why I am, or like that man in Rochester who said, I'm just bored out of my mind. I'm laying in the bed. And you know what? My dog is bored. I mean, after 30 minutes of just throwing the ball off the door, he plopped down on the floor. But that is a reality of life. And I've told my colleagues, we're doing television different now, but we need to lean into it. We need to stop pretending like we're going to do it or fight to do it the way we usually do it. Just lean into the new normal. The new normal is this. So
Yeah.
let's lean into it. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and I appreciate that. I really was struck by that question and how everyone, the question, it doesn't get stale. Like everyone has a really interesting answer, even though it's you're repeating the question. And it also, I think it creates a space for us to say, yeah, I am afraid, you know, and to what extent is, I'm not necessarily afraid of the virus, but of government failure and all these other things.
It's a jumping off point. It's a jumping off point. So listen, I thank you. I thank you for what you're doing in the world, and we'll continue this right here.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Thanks for letting me on.
Bye-bye. All right, I'm glad we were able to get her on. She was trying for a while. So here we go. Adriana, didn't we talk the other night? You're the teacher, right? Adriana Cuevas Conti? We talked the other night, didn't we?
Hi, David.
Hello, what's your name and
I
where
can't
are you?
believe I'm talking to you. It's Camille.
Camille, where are you in the world?
I am in Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Tell me about your new normal there.
Well, my new normal is, talking about being scared.
Yeah.
I cannot deny that I am.
Yeah.
I have a 17-year-old who's been in lockdown since the weekend.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to be in lockdown because he sees all his friends on Snapchat out and about like there's nothing happening. Yeah, so I'm struggling with that right now. And he, I'm a single mom. I like to take care of him maybe a little too much. And he's like, oh, give me some space. Let me go out. But you know what? I think social distancing is very important. And I'm trying to teach him by example. I'm trying to at home maybe keep some sense of normalcy. At the beginning.
How old is he?
17.
What do you think has been the one thing you've done that seems to have gotten through to him that this is serious?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked that because I'm going to be super honest. I have not been a fan of the new governor of Puerto Rico. We're from Puerto Rico, obviously. My accent, you can tell. So all of my family, not all of my family, but most of my family, my mom is in Puerto Rico, is another thing that has me very distressed. All his friends are from Puerto Rico. We have been living here for 2 years, before Hurricane Maria got us out. My job got me out of Puerto Rico hours before the hurricane hit, and I came here with my son because we have family here. Just giving you some background, how connected we are to Puerto Rico. So what I have been trying for him to see is that he has his friends here in Lexington out and about, nothing is going on, even though they don't have school. We're supposed to keep the distance, but in Puerto Rico, all of his friends are in lockdown, right? So going back to what I was saying about my relationship with Puerto Rico, obviously I watch Puerto Rico news and I watch you every day. Thank you for the job that you do, keeping us informed. So
by the way,
I have
everybody's letting us know we may have reached our time limit and Instagram may cut us off. If it cuts us off, I will come back up. I love you guys who are all writing with the red X's. David, you're about to hit the time. So if we hit the time and it goes off, we'll come back. Keep going.
Okay, so quickly. So seeing what the governor of Puerto Rico has done about that lockdown, I think maybe all states should be doing that. So I tell him, look, what's happening in Puerto Rico and what the governor of Puerto Rico did is the right thing. Your friends in Puerto Rico are locked in their homes. They cannot go out. So, reach out to them, talk to them, and offer each other support. So him seeing that he's not the only one going through this, is because I'm not letting him out. We just go out to get some food and come back. It has made him more to understand that this is really serious. So I kudos to the government of Puerto Rico to what they're doing, even though some people don't like it. It is the right thing to do.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear from Lexington. Nice to talk to you. Listen, I heard Lexington is beautiful horse country.
It is. It's the horse war capital of the world.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm a equestrian show jumper. And so I've always wanted to get to Lexington in one day. I went to the Kentucky Derby a few years ago, but I'd like to get to Lexington. Anyway, thank you
You
for
should.
joining in.
Thank you so much, David, for everything you do. Blessings.
Thank you, love. You too. Bye-bye. Okay, so it looks like we have, I saw somebody say 10 minutes left, right, team? 10 minutes? Okay, it shuts off at 10:50. Okay, so I'm going to go and bring somebody else in and tell them that they got, oh no, come on. Okay, my button is still working. Okay, so I'm going to tell them when they come up that they have 10 minutes, and that might be all the time we get on this end. Okay, so Adriana wants to talk to parents about talking to their kids. So we've talked to her before.
Hello again.
Hello. So okay, so you have 3 minutes and 50 seconds before it
I
cuts
can talk
off.
really fast. Okay,
Go.
number one, for all those parents that have the little kids at home that they have to homeschool, it's very important that you establish a routine. And a routine does not include have them stuck to the iPad or the iPhone all the time watching YouTube videos and watching Netflix. They need to garden, they need to exercise, they need to comply with their classes if they're being homeschooled. But it's not just staying in front of the freaking iPad like a zombie. That's the first thing. The second thing is I'm worried because I saw a report, and I think it was from CBS this morning, of people, it was in Florida, that very young people, saying like, oh, if I get corona, I get corona. It's not a big deal. And to me, that's very scary because they're exposing everybody, truly. And third, last night, allegedly there was a death in Arecibo, and the rumor mill was saying that it was related to corona.
Let's do this. Let's do this. I want to stay away from the rumor mill, and I want to stay from the allegedlys. Let's stick to what we know firsthand. So I heard about that. I will tell you that I'm working on a story about. I got a phone call a little while ago from someone
a doctor I saw.
Well, it turned out to be someone who works in the funeral industry. And he told me a couple of things that have concerned me. So I want to make some calls. As soon as this Instagram live ends, I'm going to make some calls to follow up with him about some concerns that the funeral industry has, given the deaths and the bodies that they are collecting on the island. So, and I know that I can say this already. There is a concern that some of the bodies that are being picked up are people who had symptoms of COVID-19 but were not tested for it.
Got it.
So the funeral workers are concerned and wondering if collecting that body, if the person had the virus. So anyway, I need to make some calls, right?
Gotcha.
But that's why I'm so adamant about just sticking to.
No, I get it. Yeah. Another thing is, last night I sent you a DM here in Instagram from my mother because she doesn't have any social media, in regards to a colleague of hers that is a doctor, that I believe it has to do with the vaccine or the tests that are being developed. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but I can send it again to you. It's in Spanish, but if you are interested, I can translate it for you a little later. So you tell me later.
Sure. I got a lot going on, so
I know.
with the vaccine stuff, I'm following it, but sort of loosely. Because the U.S. is doing a trial. They have already given the first vaccine. They're going to monitor the people for a year. So, yeah, I hear you. Listen, I got to go because it's going to cut off. So, nice to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you again, too.
All right. Be well.
Bye-bye.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to end this. I got to make some calls. I got to find out some information on the phone call I just got. And then I think we'll do another one maybe in an hour. I want to get some lunch, and then I'll come back on. Okay?